Good morning to all the dignitaries. Honorable VC of Karpagam University, Dr. Mani Maran, the Principal, Dr. Banu, the Vice Principal, Dr. Gopinath, the Coordinator, teaching and non-teaching staff, and my dear students. I wish each and every one of you a very happy 74th Independence Day. We gained freedom from just a handful of Britishers who ruled us nearly for 200 years. How could a handful of such rule a large country for so long? They had mastered the art of divide and rule and plundered our wealth for ages. India's freedom was just not about the end of a colonial rule. It was also the end of the Dark Age from Muhammad Ghazni. The invaders had a free run and looting at will. The lack of sense of belonging to each other and missing unity of action and the purpose among myriad rulers of the day made the country a soft target. Solar campaigns of brave resistance by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Maharana Pratap, Chhatrapati Shivaji, Rani Lakshmi Bai were all overcome. Once rich, India was reduced to an ocean of poverty and backwardness. When the British arrived in India, its wealth stood at 23% of the world's economy, and when they left us, it was a mere 4%. The life expectancy in India was 32 in 1947, and today it is 68. The literacy rate in 1947 was just 12%, and today it is around 70%. Look at the progress we have made in such a short period. We have to thank our forefathers for snatching freedom from the Britishers and liberating us. Today, on the 74th anniversary, we are celebrating a virtual independence. India has never faced so many challenges in such a short time. A pandemic, a lockdown, millions of migrants spilling out of the cities, an economic downturn, and military standoff at the border. The theme for today's independence is Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliance in India, an excellent initiative announced by the government. We have to be self-reliant in every way and not in mere words. Many have been affected by COVID-19, and the virus has also infected a few politicians and celebrities. They all rush to the best of the private hospitals. Why not the government hospitals? These hospitals are meant by the public, for the public, and of the public. Where is Atmanirbhar? Is it only on paper, or is it restricted to the 6 pillars which is defined by the government? Unless each and every individual plays a role in nation building, it is impossible for us to be Atmanirbhar. Just a month back, the government banned a few Chinese apps and the famous TikTok. We have to wait for the Honorable PM to take all decisions. We should have boycotted it on our own. Even today, old videos of TikTok are circulating in the WhatsApp. We have plenty of Chinese goods in the Indian market. The Chinese have hinted that you have no choice. Industrialists like Anand Mahindra have taken up this challenge and promised to take them head on in their own field. Reliance has promised out to roll the 5G later this year or early 2021. We have to stay away from Chinese even if it pinches our pockets, and especially when the whole world has become a victim of the Wuhan virus and India has lost 20 gallant soldiers. The old patriotic adage, be Indian, buy Indian, has to be promulgated by each and every Indian. This cannot be done by the government as it has international repercussions. A small country like Cuba has withstood the onslaught and sanctions of the US since 1960. Why can't we, especially when the Silicon Valley is dominated totally by the Indians, and today the Finance Minister of England is Rishi Sunak, the son-in-law of Narayana Murthy. And who knows, come December, Kamala Harris may be Vice President of USA. This has already put China in a state of discomfort. India is a global power in the near future. It has to flex its muscles
and increase the global presence. The pandemic has given us a wonderful opportunity, and the entire world has leaned towards us, especially after the Galwan Valley incident. Our PM has interacted with his Chinese counterpart 18 or 19 times over the decade, an extended olive branch and also a big trading partner. China has misunderstood it as our weakness and wants us to penalize for not supporting them in the One Belt, One Road initiative. India must now garner the support of the whole world, enter into relations with Taiwan, condemn the brutality in Hong Kong, speak of freedom for Tibet, open an embassy for Tibet in Delhi, and also increase trade with Mongolia. Coming to COVID-19, the government has stated that without the support of the citizen, it is impossible to control the pandemic. Surprisingly, the southern states, which has the best of the infrastructure and has the best of the literacy, has the maximum COVID-19 cases. Few days ago, when the fish market was opened in Chennai, there was no space to move. The people probably thought fish is a cure for corona and made a beeline to the market. How can then we blame the government when we are not following the precautions spelled out by the government? The special guests for this Independence Day have been the doctors, the nurses, the police and the conservancy staff who have faced the brunt of corona. The government has announced the new education policy. These are structural changes, but ultimately the students who have to fend for themselves. We are a very young nation with a large number of graduates being churned out every year. Unemployment seems to be a bigger pandemic than COVID-19. The government did open up a skill development ministry, but it has to go a long way. The new education policy seems to obviate all these problems. The young brand of students have to be turned out into our ambassadors and be skilled for the entire world. The entire world has to look at us not only as an IT force but also as a manufacturing hub. The unwritten diktat should be total commitment and involvement from the citizens, especially those in power, and make it a corruption-free India. Culturals, dances, speeches and flag hosting alone won't make a progressive India. Actions speak louder than words. We are a young nation with large democracy, a total freedom and a strong leader who does not believe in dynasty rules. It reminds me of the famous quote of John F. Kennedy: "Ask not what your country can do, but what you can do for your country." Let us build this on the platform given by our forefathers and the present government and build India into a total Atmanirbhar Bharat. Jai Hind. I also take this opportunity to Mr. Arul, who gave me the honor to speak on the 74th Independence Day. Thank you very much.